there's been so many cool promo art drops for Infinity Castle. They are like putting all their energy into this series. So cool. Like just the drawings alone, like the promo images are so good. Just the clarity of them and everything, like so good. Let's draw Sanemi. I give him his mark because a couple of people have asked Mark Sanemi, or it could have been just the same person over and over. But let's do this anyway. Awesome character. Can't wait for his fight with you know who. And let's go. Landscape page, pencil eraser, hit pause if I go too fast. So his head in here, don't need to zoom in. I don't think the eyes are kind of big enough, so we'll just do it in here. We're above halfway for the head. Big, pointy, angular, aggressive eyes. A curved line. Like so. The bottom. So yeah, that goes that way. And then the bottom will curve sort of around here. Into his tear duct area in there, which Demon Slayer do draw in. One of the few animes that do. Jujutsu Kaisen does it sometimes as well. We'll give him his eyelashes. So we go up and over. There's like just two spiky ones, like one there and then one at the back. Okay, and this is like obviously black colored in. Kind of, yeah, heavier line, and then he does have that spike here. I gotta say, I'm a nerd for looking at all the promo art for all these movies and stuff. These animation studios are really upping their game recently. I suppose like computers are helping, but still it's impressive. So that's one eye. His iris inside. And it's kind of ovally. It's not like perfect circle. And you could add the hatching and stuff that they do sometimes inside. It's optional. You could just go with the purple eye, but they do this sort of a thing. Like, you know, they give him these lines inside his eye. I suppose it just makes him look kind of crazy. So that's probably the idea, you know, because he kind of is. So, you know, that kind of a thing. And he's going to have to be crazy. Like that. They do that kind of thing. And then there is veins. Because he has high blood pressure. Because he is so pumped all the time and ready to go. All right. Of course, he's got scars, but we'll just do eyelid here first. Going sort of that way. Down there. And then he's got like all these sort of stress lines around his eyes. Heavy frowns, but his hair kind of covers some of it, but we can see one big frown line at least, I think. Like here. And no eyebrows to speak of. So his other eye, sort of behind his nose. So I guess we've got to draw his nose first. So it goes here, curving beside this sort of frown area. And then it spikes out. And there's a little bit of a gap, and then just the tip of the nose and his nostril. And then they do that kind of hatching thing, you know, on the bridge of his nose. This. So his eye then is in behind. So a heavily arched up, spiky eye. And again, sort of two sort of eyelashes just here sticking up and then down around into there. That's your general shape, and we'll just like darken this up a bit. Oh yeah, and there's a little eyelash sticking off there. Might be an eyelid line, but it's kind of underneath his hair, so not too visible in this case. So then, super aggressive, crazy looking eye. It's kind of ovalish. It's not like a perfect circle. And then it has these crazy eye lines inside that are optional. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to, because it can be annoying for some people, I know. And then his high blood pressure eye veins. Alrighty, not bad. Looks like Sanemi's eyes. So his mouth, gritting his teeth, right? So it goes kind of underneath his nose. It's like, it's going to look funny at first because it looks like he's got this little derpy sort of smile, right? So it goes that way. See what I mean? So like a little smile, but it goes like around the back of his mouth. Kind of looks like a question mark on its side. And then you add the bottom lip. And just like the side of his mouth is kind of straight. And then for teeth, all they do is just this line that follows that sort of shape across the mouth. And a bit of a shadow in the corner. So by shadow, I mean just this like thicker penciled area or penned area. I do recommend pencil first. I forgot some of the stress lines around here. He's more. So his chin is like cut off, right? We do have that shadow triangle that they add, but the chin is cut off by his shoulder, right? He's swinging his blade. So we have the shoulder sort of area just curves across like that, and his collar cuts his chin off as well. So it goes like there. You could draw the chin in if you wanted, but you'd have to raise stuff, so it's up to you really. His jaw just comes out from here again, right? And his cheek on this side curves around his cheekbone from the chin into the corner of his eye, kind of just like into that eyelash, say. There. So when you get to here, it sort of curves in, and then but about this point it curves out around the forehead back up to his hairline. It's subtle, but it's just a little curve out for his brow and then around to the forehead, right? So that's a tricky little thing. There's a couple of twists and turns on that. Out around his cheek, into the corner of his orbital bone, his eye socket, and then out again for his brow and back in for his forehead. So there's a little bit of chopping and changing in that one. So we got his ear up here, curves around and down. It's like a letter C, sort of an angled letter C. And ear lines inside, the easiest way is a letter J. A J or a T, curvy, just around. You can add more little ear lines if you want. Not the end of the world if you don't, though. And then coming out from the ear, we have his sideburn, a V, just beside the eye. And then this gets all zigzaggy, sharp hairlines. He has very sharp features and hair. Coming around his forehead here. Like so. I'm not forgetting his scars. I just want to get sort of the hair in first, and then because the hair kind of covers some. And then we go up, around, this way, down to here. And then it goes back up that way. There. Here. This is the one that comes across the forehead. Comes out for the bottom half. And then of course there's like texture lines and stuff inside here. So he's another part of his fringe that kind of spikes out beside this one, so it goes, and it's kind of bumpy a little bit, so. We'll go in towards the eye, I think. There. Back. Another spike here. Back. Another one. In to there, and then it like goes around like so. And then we see some hair spikes sticking off the side of his head. Some texture just underneath this. And then we have another piece of fringe that's kind of sticking up here. And then we got some texture again. And we got to do the rest of the hair that kind of fills in this whole area basically. So we just go for it now. Small little hair spikes compared to the fringe anyway. And this is going to go the whole way around to the back of his ear. There's no easy way of doing it. You just got to sort of bite the bullet, I guess. Just go for it. And remember, hair moves, especially when a character is swinging a sword and the animators like put wind in it and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't have to be exactly like mine. It moves around, you know. So all these texture lines and stuff. his back, so there's a little difference, but it's okay. Yeah, that's his back, but we got hair that comes down around. He just goes in behind his ear then. Tiny ones. And there's like texture lines in here. Like so. Maybe like a neck muscle line or something there. So we got like, he's swinging a sword. So the sword is like out here with two hands. So that'll be her little task at getting the hands in. So I guess we got to draw the back. So he's got that white sort of flowing cloak on his back. So let's just go for this. It's a lot of curving lines, right? So coming from the hair here, this is like going that way. And then it's a lot of bumping, folding fabric. So like his spine goes that way. It's always useful to know where the spine is, because everything comes out of your spine, your nervous system and all that. So this goes around his spine. Right, everything folding around that area, and it's like a big loose part here. But this goes off the page, right? So this curves around off the page. It comes back in about here. If you have more room, you could finish that, but it's not even in the key image that they released, so we'll go this way. And then more fold and arm fold here. Kind of a line that comes down his shoulder there. It's like a stitching line or a seam in his clothing. And then this is a rolled up sort of sleeve, right, that goes all around his arm. And he has quite a muscular arm. So it's all bumpy. Like that. And then his black shirt and sort of belt is all here. So this is like his belt. And then it has that text. I might do that last. We'll get the hand and the blade and stuff in first, maybe. We will try it. And then his scars, and I gotta do them on his face and his mark. Okay, just talking to myself. Let's go this way for his wrist. Very small now, the hands, we can just kind of see knuckles bumping up. 1, 2, you can only see 3 on this hand. Nice. Now this one is bigger, so it goes that way. And then like the palm of his hand is like here, with what seem to be wrist bones there. Right. Now this is tricky, right? So this is his forearm. And this is his wrist that joins the base of his hand. Because things get so small when they go further away, they get what's called foreshortened. well, technically it's back shortened, but as it goes back, it gets sort of more round and stumpier. So his thumb comes out from there up, and you've knuckles, and every time the knuckle happens, you change your direction and around for the top, right? And his thumb comes over the other fingers and the blade, the handle. So he's got, we can see 3. The other one's in behind the thumb. 2, 3. Some fingernails. And the handle then. And I think we can see the other palm. This soft part of your palm of your hand is those 2 bumps. Right. So he's got that star sort of sword. So the handle is here. And it just has those sort of diamond things that all sort of Japanese katanas tend to have in animes. And then this star, spiky sundial kind of, like it, yes, it's just like it's like a floral or spiky kind of thing that just comes around, and each one comes out from the previous one, kind of like this. The Demon Slayer like lettering is like covering this, so I can't really see it, but that's what it looks like to me. And then the handle goes, I think, back this way, down like that. We got some extra details on the hilt of that sword. So I think there's like little edges to all these, like with a circle. Right, and then his katana will sort of go curving this way. Kind of like that. And then it's got like spikes on it. So maybe I'll give it like a little edge here on this end. And then it's got that wavy, yeah, it's kind of like waves crashing, like, you know, this kind of thing. Optional. Again, just an extra little detail for anyone who likes doing all the details. You could just color it like a black katana. And then he's got like scars everywhere, basically. He's been through it. So, like spiky ones. Like this, all on his arms. And his face as well. Big ones across his face. So Righty. Well, I'm going to give him his mark because someone was asking for that one. The mark that maybe people who don't read the manga don't want to know about, so we won't talk about it. But we'll just put this here, I won't spoil. He just went out one night and got a tattoo, that's all this is. It's like a windmill. And then two little circles there. Okay, we'll put, what does it say on the back again? It's like, well, I kill demons or something like that, or kill demons, kill all demons or something. So I'll do it, like, it's tricky enough to draw this kind of lettering stuff, so we'll make a good attempt at it. Or we'll try at least. I think I have the hiccups. Now, I know I'm not describing what I'm doing here because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just copying the thing that I see on the screen. And I've probably made errors, but calligraphy isn't the easiest thing to copy. There's like a little spike here, maybe. Like you see, it goes around all the bumps and folds, so we're sort of doing that as well. Alrighty. Did I get it all? I think I did. Sanemi, looking forward to his Infinity Castle sections. See you next one.